Now here's meteorologist Pete Mangione with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
All right, some changes coming in this morning. What was Tropical Depression number 4 is now Tropical Storm Cristobal. Let's check out where she is, and you can see the storm lurking just to the south and east of the Bahamas, continuing its trek to the north. And winds right now are 45 miles an hour. Remember, you need winds of 39 miles an hour to make it a tropical storm. Now, there are several scenarios which could happen with the storm, but we're becoming more confident that the storm will likely stay just to the east of Florida over the next several days, perhaps strengthening into a hurricane. You can see this is by Wednesday morning offshore from Florida. And then as we head into the middle and end of the work week, notice this cone of uncertainty. This is basically all the potential area where the storm could go. So it could actually make a landfall across South Carolina, North Carolina. We'll have to watch that carefully. But we are pretty confident that we eventually get this turned back to the east as we go towards the end of the week, and that is good news for our neck of the woods. Not expecting a direct hit. In fact, it does look like the storm stays pretty far away, but not before it could throw some potentially dangerous rip currents our way towards the end of the week into Labor Day weekend. Of course, we will keep you updated on that. In the meantime, a beautiful morning here from Narragansett Town Beach. It's a cool one, though. Bring the sweatshirt if you're heading early to the beach. Some sunshine in the capital city right now. Temperature is at 62. Winds are out of the northwest at 7 miles an hour. In fact, those winds will be a little bit lighter than what we saw yesterday. 54 in Gloucester, 57 in Smithfield. Taunton, you're at 56 degrees right now, in Fall River at 60. When we have the low humidity, the sun works to warm things up very quickly, and we are anticipating a bit more in the way of sunshine today. You can see that on the satellite picture. We have a few clouds overhead, but our weather will be coming once again from the northeast because of that flow from the high pressure, and not a lot of moisture to work with as we look to the skies off to the northeast, and that will keep a bit more blue sky in the forecast. Now, let's talk about that blue sky. That will allow those temperatures to warm into the mid-70s by noontime. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 78 degrees. Now, the coast should also warm quickly around the noon hour to the mid-70s, maybe even a few upper 70s. Then as we head into the afternoon, instead of a true sea breeze where we get that flow of wind from the south, will be more from the east today, and that again will allow the coast to be a little warmer than I was anticipating yesterday. So yeah, a few upper 70s could be out there by the mid to late afternoon as that wind starts to come out of the east here in Narragansett, perhaps pulling the temperatures back into the mid-70s. But it's a nice day to be out here at the beach. 75 degrees, safe sun time around 15 minutes. Now I want to spend a little bit of time here on the 7-day Futurecast because this is a return of summer. Notice what happens tomorrow, 84 degrees. I do anticipate the coast a little bit cooler in the upper 70s as those sea breezes develop. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday, perhaps not quite as much of a sea breeze effect as those temperatures in the mid-80s, maybe a few upper 80s inland. And then on Thursday, we're tracking a cold front that could bring a few showers. At this point, they don't look very widespread. That's why you don't see the raindrops here for Thursday, but the potential will be there. Now, these showers will not be from Cristobal. In fact, this front will help to keep Cristobal away. Tropical storms, hurricanes, they do not like fronts. Fronts tend to push them out to sea. That looks like that's what's going to happen towards the end of the week. And then on Friday, the weather actually looks nice on land, but we'll be watching for those potential rip currents. And some of those rip currents could extend into a portion of the Labor Day weekend. So that is something we will be tracking into the holiday. But again, the good news on Labor Day weekend is that right now the weather looks okay, looks comfortable in terms of temperatures. I do have some showers there on Saturday. You know, that looks like it might be delayed until Sunday, so a lot of the Labor Day weekend may end up rain-free. Of course, we will track that carefully. In the meantime, though, some summer to enjoy for the middle of the week.
And nice to know that even though it's a cool start, the temperatures do rebound fairly nicely today.
They do, yeah. It's going to be a nice afternoon.
We'll enjoy. Pete, thanks so much. Time now 7:21. Still to come on Eyewitness News in California.